And Austin then sets it up for the sharpshooter, but he's kicked in the face. Austin gets sent into the barricade, and this is the spot where he's thrown into the barricade, and Bret attacks him with strikes. And you cannot see this, but it's Bret that cuts Austin, and he gets color here. And when we did our lengthy sit down with Bret, he went into grand detail about this, and Austin trusting him to get to cut him. And they weren't doing too much blood at all, Vader aside, which, again, was hard way. This is still pretty novel in WWF during this period. Like, Vince was always pretty squeamish on any utilization of blood, and Bret was kind of the master at, concealing it. But this was... You cannot argue against the utilization of blood here and maximizing it. Like, this is one of the all-time images in company history.
How many millions of dollars did Vince McMahon make off of these drops of blood?
Just on the cover of that VHS they put out, much less, on T-shirts and such. Like, this is really the defining image of the Steve Austin character for this time period. It's this match and it's this image, if you want to get specific. Can we determine, as far as blade jobs go, what the highest grossing blade job is in wrestling history, and is this it? That's a fascinating topic that I would love to look into. So that is a 100% David Bixenspan long form piece. The highest grossing blade jobs in WWE / pro wrestling history. Like, maybe we I'm sure that you could put Keiji Muto on that list if we're extending it. But Steve Austin in this match, yes.
One singular blade job. What blade job has made more money in merchandise sales than, or just, I don't know, like DVD covers or whatever, than this?
This one would be high, if not at the top of the list, would be my thought off the top of my head. So Austin is just busted open. It's like a great visual. Hart then takes the chair to the bad knee of Austin, sets up for the sharpshooter, but Austin avoids with an eye rake. And then Austin kicks him low, right down near Saskatoon. And Austin grabs an extension cord, starts choking Bret, who then reaches for the ring bell to blast Austin in the head. No staples to the top of his head. And Austin fights and fights as the sharpshooter gets put upon him. And this is the iconic sequence of the entire match, as Austin literally, he's so close to breaking the sharpshooter, but Bret just holds on and gets back up onto his feet, regaining his balance. And famously, Austin goes out as Ken Shamrock calls for the bell, and Jim Ross, prophetic that Austin never said "I quit." He went out, and just a masterful match. Exactly what you wanted coming out of this, and the faces in that front row tell the whole story here. And this was one of the most important matches in company history. Again, like, this was all designed for this, but it really did take this match and this, like, coming out of this, like, Austin is he's in the heroic role, and Bret is the winner, but it's this audience that begrudgingly is acknowledging him as the winner.
Yeah. I mean,
this would have been an incredible WrestleMania 14 if circumstances are different, and the next year it's Austin beating Bret for the title at WrestleMania 14.
Wow, that would have been amazing. We haven't had a chance to talk about this match since like 2010, which is when we last reviewed WrestleMania 13. You and I were wow, that was like 14 years ago.
15.
Holy shit, we were in our 20s when we talked about this, but it still holds up, to say the least. To call this a masterpiece almost feels like, to me, a bit of an understatement because of how important this match is in WWE history, certainly. I think just as a piece of art and in terms of what they were accomplished, I still have so much respect for this match to this day. Just all the moving parts that led us up to this point, with the converging states of both, like, Bret and Austin's careers, both heading towards opposite directions, meeting at this perfect junction where they can officially cross and change paths in this one singular moment. I mean, again, it's everything but it's all building up to this particular moment that we can just, like, point to and say, this is when they officially turned. I thought the use of the leg injury of the match to continue to draw sympathy for Austin was very well done. And then obviously, like, one of the most perfect and most iconic blade jobs, the highest grossing one potentially, that is furthered the sympathy for Steve Austin in this particular final moment here. And then just, of course, the sharpshooter finish itself, just even blood aside. Obviously, you needed the blood, I think, for full effect, but even just the idea of him passing out in a submission like this was really the perfect way to kind of showcase that sort of never give up type of attitude that essentially is the core of this Steve Austin character, whether it be a heel or a babyface. So great layout of this match, but even like Bret is to me always going to be maybe the star, especially like if we're to believe that he was the primary orchestrator of a match like this. But in rewatching the match, something that really stands out to me is Steve Austin selling throughout it. He obviously, there's some great facial expressions in this sharpshooter at the end. It's just kind of classic seeing this guy struggle in this move, trying to survive and just like screaming for his life, trying to like squeeze every ounce of his energy into trying to survive this before passing out. But I thought like throughout the rest of the match, he's got this like great flailing style of selling for like Bret's punches. And I really don't know how often it's mentioned, but like watching Austin, especially transition from like being more of a heel in this playlist towards becoming like a full-on babyface in this match, you realize that I think one of his greatest strengths as a babyface is his ability to draw sympathy from his selling, which I thought was very well showcased in this match in particular. If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.